Hey, how's it going, guys?
What is up, Toasty Bros?
All right, so this is going to be part two of our Intel versus AMD budget build. So today we're going to be doing a $400 budget, and also if you haven't checked out our $300 budget, go check that. We will put a link. So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be $400, and this time I'm doing Intel and Matt's doing AMD, which will probably kind of flip flop each time we do the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this.
Okay, so we are going to start off with the AMD build first, because I chose AMD. But the AMD processor of choice is the AMD 760K. It's a Richland quad-core processor at 3.8 gigahertz. It seems like a really solid CPU for only $77. I've never worked with a CPU like this, but honestly, for the price at 3.8 gigahertz and it's a quad-core, I mean, you can't really go wrong at a $400 price range.
Okay, true. Alright, and for my Intel one, I went with an Intel i3-4150, which is on the Haswell platform. It is running LGA 1150, which is a pretty standard socket, and it only uses 54 watts, which is pretty nice. It's a dual core running at 3.5 gigahertz, and everyone says it gets about a 7.3 CPU rating, which is about what my AMD 6300 gets, and it's at the price of 120 bucks, so I figured, hey, why not?
Alright, so now onto the GPU. Me and Jackson, to make things easier, chose the exact same GPU, and Jackson has experience with this GPU, so I'll let him explain more about it when I give him the chance to. But honestly, this is a really good GPU for the price. It's the Radeon HD 7770 GHz edition. It's only $100, and if you really are into mail-in rebates, you can send it in for 20 bucks back, and that's a pretty good deal. So for $79, you get a really good GPU that can play 1080p games.
Yeah, I actually have it paired with an AMD 6300, which I got for 100 bucks, but that's besides the point. And I can play pretty much any game at 1080 at Ultra. You can check out on our channel, we have a Crysis Let's Play, or not Crysis Let's Play, but Crysis graphics test with that on Ultra, and a Skyrim test on Ultra, so you can check that out and see the card does run very well.
Alright, so now onto the RAM. I chose G.Skill Ripjaw's X Series RAM, 8GB, two 4GB sticks at 1600 megahertz. It's that really nice looking red RAM that all people see, it looks really dope. I have it in my system actually, and it runs really well. It's really solid RAM, and for $63, I think it's pretty good for this build.
For mine, I also chose G.Skill. Pretty basic looking. It does have a little heat shielding over it, so it still doesn't look too bad, and I'm sure you can get it in different colors, but I got 4 gigs, 2x2 GB sticks. Sorry, that kind of sounded weird. That runs at 1333, so it is a little bit slower, but it will still be configured in dual channel, and it's only 42 bucks, so it should pretty much get what we need to be doing done.
Alright, so now onto the hard drive, where I chose the Western Digital Blue 1TB 7200 RPM drive, which Jackson chose the same thing, and this is just basic hard drive. We couldn't really afford an SSD in this budget, but basically it's a 1TB hard drive, put all your games on it, and
yeah, and it looks like, I'm pretty sure most people get this hard drive if they have to choose a 1TB, because it's just kind of the first one, the most featured one that pops up, so at least that's what I've gotten, and it gets a decent score too, and it's not too slow. So.
Okay, so now onto motherboard. I chose the MSI A58M. Not going to read the rest of that because it's totally unnecessary. FM2 motherboard. It is a ATX motherboard. It supports the FM2 socket, and for $46, it looks like a pretty good deal. It comes with basic USB, basic I/O. It doesn't really come with the USB 3, which is kind of a downer, but honestly for the price, it's just a basic board that will get the job done. If you wanted to put a little bit of extra money into a better board, you could, but it would go over our budget. So that's basically my logic behind this choice.
And for my board, I went with a Gigabit GAH81M. So this is LGA 1150 socket. It actually has 2 USB 3.0 ports on it, and it has 2 USB ports. Then also obviously has some expansion slots. It is micro ATX, so it's a little bit smaller and will fit in smaller cases and take up less room. And it's actually pretty nice looking, and it has a lot of expansions on it, so that's why I went with that one, and it is only 55 bucks.
Okay, and then after that, we're going to go with cases. I chose the Rosewell R519BK Black ATX case. It comes with a 500 watt power supply. It's just a basic black case that comes with a power supply, and honestly I decided to go with this because I really just wanted a case with power supply combo, and with the case in this price range I really didn't think it mattered that much how good it looked, because if you're paying $400 you're just wanting the best performance you can get, and with the basic amount of room and all the stuff you could probably build a pretty functional PC in this with all the parts that we got.
And with mine, I actually went with like one of the cheapest cases I could find. It is I don't think I'm saying this right, Logisys computer case. It's a ATX mid tower. Comes with a 480 watt power supply. It's all black. It does have some LEDs on it, and it looks like it might include an LED fan. I did not look at that, but we'll put that in the video if it does or not. It actually has a decent amount of expansion slots, and like I said, it's $30, so why not? And it doesn't look half bad.
So yeah, that's our overall builds. Most of our builds came out to be a good amount of price range. Mine at total was $403. I don't really know if Jackson remembers what his
I think mine was $402. So
okay, so we were slightly over $400, but for $400, this is a pretty good build. And overall,
oh yeah, I guess we could talk about what we think of each other's now, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So I'll say what I think of Jackson's build. It's the best he can really do for an Intel build, because the higher we go up in these price ranges, you'll start to realize that Intel would be the better option. Even though AMD is always going to be value, that's a trend that's going to be in all these videos. But his build does a pretty good job with the i3. It would have been better if there was a way you could fit in a little bit more RAM, but this build for $400, I mean, that's probably the best you can do at that price range. And that's why I do still recommend AMD, and Jackson could probably agree with this, for this kind of price range and further up still.
Yeah, and for Mads, definitely good on how he got the quad core, which actually runs at a pretty good gigahertz range. And it can obviously be overclocked. Definitely good on the graphics card, because like I said, I have that one, and I definitely think that's one of the best graphics cards you can get for the price. It's also good that you got 2 sticks of 4 gigs RAM. That's actually pretty good speed, because that'll match up nicely with it. And yeah, overall though, like I said, because I pretty much have close to the same specs as that, and I know you'd probably be able to run most games at high settings at least. So I definitely give that a thumbs up.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment and give us your opinions. We love reading all the comments about everything you have to say about our channel. And other than that, we will be back with a $500 gaming PC build sometime in the future.
Yep. Alright, so we will see you guys later.
Adios.